Indiana football just got a bunch of really good news. Three things of good news that we're going to be covering in this video over at JR's Big Ten Football News. Appreciate you being here. Lavar Keys just got predicted by rivals Steve Wiltfong to get into the 2026 class for Indiana football. He is a Penn State decommit. He was on the visit to be there with Indiana against the UCLA game, and I'm sure, like most people around the country were, he was impressed with what he saw in that game. Hey, if you like that Lavar Keys is going to Indiana, most likely, or at least he's being predicted to, go ahead and like, subscribe. Indiana fans, how you feeling about Lavar Keys? He is a 3-star recruit. The Rivals industry rankings has him at number 831, the 117th, I apologize, wide receiver in the class. Rivals has him as the number 72 wide receiver in the class, so they're a little bit higher on him than most are. And at this point in time, when you have 3 stars like this, it's not always about the rating, right? It doesn't really matter if he's 730 to 830. No, not really. What does matter is what kind of traits does he have. He's a little small, 5'9.5", 160 or 165 pounds. There's rumors out there that he could be up to 5'11 now. If that's true, he's continuing to grow. That's really good news for Indiana. If they're able to land him, which it sounds like they are, according to Steve Wiltfong, but he is going to be a really nice piece for a team moving forward because he has the trait of a speedy dude. He has the trait of somebody that can get behind a defense. He's also somebody that doesn't just run behind a defense, but can be electric with the ball in his hands as well. You can argue he's actually better in that area than just getting behind a defense, but his type of speed, his type of shiftiness, twitch, stuff like that, he is going to make whatever team he goes to a very, very happy team. And it sounds like Curt Cignetti is going to be very, very happy with having him on the outside. Probably won't contribute year one, but you never know. With that kind of speed, you get him the right kind of opportunities, he could be out there pretty quick and making plays for the Indiana Hoosiers. In addition to that, he is supposed to go on a visit to Maryland on November 1st. If you follow the Indiana football schedule, you know Indiana plays Maryland next week on November 1st. So it sounds like he is going to be in that situation, visiting Maryland, but also seeing Indiana play at the same time. A lot of great quotes coming out from his visit. He told Steve Wiltfong, quote, "Big win for the guys. What continues to excite me about Sig is that he knows what the standard is here at IU, and it's winning, and I love that about him," end quote. That's the kind of stuff that you love about Curt Cignetti, is the type of standard he has for this football program and what he makes sure he instills in his players. And he knows that when he gets to, Lavar Keys knows that when he gets to Indiana, that standard is going to be set upon him, and it's going to be set upon the entire team. And he can already see it being set upon guys, right? Omar Cooper Jr., EJ Williams, both two receivers that are speedy guys who can make, not just speedy guys, it makes it sound like that's all they can do, but they're guys that are good with the ball in their hand, can get behind defenses. EJ Williams, this last game, he just had a big game, being able to get 44 yards after the catch, over 100 yards receiving. He's actually had 2 really good back-to-back really good games. So we'll see how Indiana continues to move forward as a team, but in recruiting, it continues to be really good. It continues to be really successful. And this is what I keep telling people about this Indiana team, is that it's not just this year. It's not just last year. Like, Curt Cignetti is setting up this team to be really, really good in the future as well. They're going after very good commits. They have a linebacker, Jaden Williams, that Ohio State wanted. They wanted to come after him and go get him, and they weren't able to do it. Other guys that happened to, well, think of Xavier Nwankpa, right? He's over there doing good things at Iowa. Think of Coy Parrish at Minnesota. He's going over there doing good things in Minnesota. These are the type of guys that when Ohio State comes calling to your recruits, typically, if you're able to hold on to them, they turn into really, really good players for your team, because Ohio State has some of the best talent evaluators out there. They're just not as quick to offer some guys as maybe some other teams are. So, but back to Lavar Keys. He was somebody that Penn State wanted. You might say, Penn State, a wide receiver, do we really want him? And I would say that oftentimes guys who leave Penn State, whether it's a decommit or whatever it is, often end up in better situations than when they got there. And I'm not trying to trash Penn State by saying that. I'm just saying there is a trend here where wide receivers choose not to go to Penn State, or they are at Penn State and they choose to transfer out and they go some other place and do really, really well. And I can see that happening with Lavar Keys here. So from DeMatha Catholic in Hyattsville, Maryland, you can see that Curt Cignetti is doing a really good job getting around the Midwest and then out to the coast a little bit to get, or some states that are on the coast a little bit, to get some talent out there. And Curt Cignetti is just building a really, really good team. And in addition to that, I mean, they had 2 other visitors this weekend that'll get you excited too. We're not going to go as deep into them, but Rivals number 4 interior offensive lineman Kellen Weimer, who is from Ohio. He's a 2027. He was visiting for the UCLA game. And not only that, but Indiana is getting out there for the 2028 class as well, as they brought in the number 2 nationally, or the number 2 defensive lineman nationally, the number 7 prospect overall nationally from Kentucky, Kellen Hall. He is a 2028. Look, if people want to doubt Indiana, let them doubt them, but they're just going to be wrong, and they're going to have to get used to it, because Indiana is not just a wagon for this season, but it's a wagon in the future as well. But back to this season, let's get to the second dose of good news for Indiana. And that second dose is one Aiden Fisher, who is likely to return for the Maryland game. Curt Cignetti said in his weekly press conference, I would list Aiden Fisher as probable versus Maryland. Fisher came out of the game. It was kind of precautionary. Curt Cignetti said he had something on his left knee, and then he had a brace on his right arm as well. So hard to know exactly what was going on there, but they brought him out precautionary. And Fisher was seen, being able to be next to Bryant Haynes. He was kind of working with him, operating with him, and so that was a good situation as well. So Aiden Fisher back for the Maryland game, probable. Even if he doesn't play the entire time, you still feel really good, because Aiden Fisher, while he was a preseason All-American, he ranks really high for the Hoosiers in quarterback hurries. He's number 1 on the team in that, 2nd on the team in tackles, 5th on the team in tackles for loss. Even if Fishers can't play, you have Isaiah Jones, who came in for him and played really, really well in Aiden Fisher's absence. He had 8 tackles, 1 quarterback hurry, 1 forced fumble, and a half tackle for loss / sack. Let me just show you right here. Isaiah Jones, 8 tackles on the day, 4 solo tackles, a half sack, half tackle for loss, 1 pass breakup, 1 quarterback hurry, and 1 forced fumble as well. Bones, as they call him, is he's a monster. Man, Isaiah Jones, really good player for this team. He's going to do a fantastic job in the future. Even if you don't have Aiden Fisher, who was the green dot for this team, you have Isaiah Jones out there, who not a lot of guys can come in and be the green dot, right? You have really good players, but not every single player is ready for that kind of responsibility. Isaiah Jones is ready for it, and he excelled with it, which really makes you think not only for this season and feeling good even if Aiden Fisher is limited in this next game. However, like I said, Curt Cignetti said he is probable, but also in the future as well, as Isaiah Jones is only a red shirt junior, which means he has a year of eligibility to be able to come back as well, which is just absolutely huge for this team. All right, let's go ahead and look. All right, sorry about that. Accidentally hit the wrong button there. But under Cignetti, this is the third piece of good news, and this one's just kind of like a noteworthy stat. So, we can call it news, and I think it is news, because it is something to celebrate about this team and something that newly happened after the UCLA game. Under Curt Cignetti, Indiana has outscored their opponents that they have beaten 868 to 225. That is good for an average of beating your opponents by 41 points to 11 points per game. That means the opponents they beat, they are on average of beating them basically 42 to 10, which is just absolutely amazing. If you look over here to this website called teamrankings.com, you can put in years and stuff. And if you put in the years, I was playing with this earlier, if you put in the years of, since 2024, so this would include 2024 and this season and 2025 right now, obviously win percentage, Indiana's really high up there. Ohio State is number 1, followed by Oregon, BYU, and then Indiana. But if you look at this MOV, go to definitions, the average margin of victory, you set that, who has the most? Yeah, it's Indiana. Indiana, of course, they have the most on the average margin of victory. And then this ATS plus minus, that is the average amount of points the team covers the spread by. Obviously, plus cover the spread, minus don't cover the spread. Indiana ranks number 1 in that as well. It is fantastic what Curt Cignetti is doing. The sports books can't even keep up with them at this point because they are just blowing teams out by so much. And a lot of people, they want to say, oh, he's running the score up, and oh, he's just trying to get Heisman stat padding for Fernando Mendoza. And it's like, dude, shut up. They have Alberto Mendoza, his brother, in there. You can't be thinking, yeah, I know we have Heisman Mendoza, but come on, it's not like that. Curt Cignetti definitely did run the score up a lot in his first year, and I think it was warranted. I think it was for good reason because he knew he was going to have to prove himself. He knew he was going to have to prove his team to the national media. If you want anybody to blame running up the score on, blame the people who don't watch football and try to make expectation or try to have opinions on it. If you watch this Indiana team is a national championship contender. Last year, they were doing it a lot to try and get respect. This year, they just ran the ball at Illinois basically the entire second half, and they couldn't stop them. Sorry, if you can't stop them, you're going to score points. This year, they're putting in Alberto Mendoza, and people think that he's Fernando Mendoza's brother, and they're throwing with him. And so there's nothing you can do. There's no win, I guess, with people who don't actually pay attention. So it is what it is. Indiana's a wagon. They look like a really good team this year. They're going to get Aiden Fisher back. Isaiah Jones proved himself, and the recruiting is at an awesome level. Indiana fans, hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which one of these 3 pieces of news was your favorite? Go Hoosiers, and we'll see you next time.